gentlemen, welcome to HMAS Ovens to do your part 3. As you know, it's not going to be an easy time for any of you, but you realise that if you dig out and do what you have to do, it'll make it a lot easier for everybody. The routine that we run on here is that we get to see the task books once a week, and I will set you a certain amount of tasks. Those tasks are to be completed by the time the task books are handed back in to be the following week. If they're not completed, you will get another 5 plus the ones that you haven't completed. And if it starts building up, then you start losing leave. Now that you're on the submarine and you've had a chance a day or so to settle in, you have been allocated a sea daddy. The idea of this person is to assist you with your task book, and he is also the person that is the intermediate between yourselves and the head of department if you have any personal problems. He's the one that will give you the kick in the arse if you start slacking off. So enjoy your time on here while you can. I realise it's not an easy time, but the more you dig out, the more the qualified guys will appreciate that you are digging out and see that you're really working at it. Okay?
Time. It's something a Part 3 submariner has very little of. They have only about 16 weeks to learn and pass all of their practical training to become a submariner.
Pressure to complete the task book? Not really. As long as you're keeping it at a steady pace, getting your signatures, there's not much pressure on you getting your task book signed off. But if you're slacking behind, people are going to start coming down on you harder.
They want to get you qualified fairly quick. Not too quick though. You got to know what you're doing, obviously. But yeah, under a fair bit of pressure.
Where do I go to be alone? We have to be about the case. It's the only place you can really be alone on submarine.
About the only place on board that you can actually be by yourself, I think, is the toilets.
You ever feel lonely? No, never. No, too busy to be lonely.
Not only do the Part 3s have to become proficient at their own tasks, but they must be familiar with the working environment of all other areas of the submarine.
It's not that we're kept busy, it's that we always have to be doing things to get our task books completed, so doing that, you're always busy, basically. Are some branches busier than others? Yeah, I'd say definitely for sure, especially the electrical branch and the marine engineering branch. Basically, the whole submarine is engineering and electrical, so definitely for sure, those two branches.
Unlike qualified submariners, the Part 3s have yet to earn their dolphins.
How am I treated by the rest of the crew? Good. I have no problems at all.
I've been treated all right. I've managed to get along with most of the people on board.
Which group are more helpful to me? I would say the electrical branch is definitely more helpful to other electrical sailors, but overall everyone's helpful, I'd say.
My own branch, I suppose, yeah. Although everyone I've seen has been helpful. If they've got time, yeah, they'll take as much time as they like to go through it until you understand it, until you're happy with it. But the engineering branch, how do I feel about having to learn all the sections of the boat? At first it was difficult to understand it, but once you've been on for a few weeks, I suppose it gets easier and easier, and the longer you spend, the easier it is, and you've got to know it, you've just got to know.
The life on board for a Part 3 revolves around their task book. There are 28 sections in the task book.
How am I going to get this signed off?
Most require the trainees to gain experience on several watches to be able to complete the allocated task. They then have their competence assessed before the task can be signed off.
Federation Draper? Yeah. Just wondering how I'm going to get this signed off.
First panel. Don't worry about it. See the first panel watchkeepers.
All
Okay?
right, thanks.
They said 2 hours a minute, but does it much longer?
No, for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Can I see the XO about a task, please, sir?
No, he's briefing the captain at the moment. Come back in about half an hour.
Yes, sir.
16 weeks may seem like plenty of time to complete their training, but the competition on board is fierce. There can be as many as 17 trainees on board at any one time, all trying their utmost to complete their task book. This rigorous training and assessment, coupled with the constant pressure, ensures that the qualified submariners will be able to do any task on board during any crisis.
How much sleep do I normally get? About 6 hours. A few times I've had 2 hours sleep, an hour's sleep. Can be hazardous. Lack of performance, not concentrating on what you're doing. For example, in the dog shop I knocked 2 teeth out. I was overtired doing a job that I shouldn't have been doing at the time. Not concentrating. Jacking off a fuel pump off the cam. The bar slipped and got caught on the cam and came up and whacked me in the face. Split all my lip up and knocked 2 teeth out, and I spent a night on the Derwent, got transferred over there. Yeah, that didn't help.
The trainees will normally do a 1 in 3 watch in their own department. It's up to them to find space in the watch bill for other areas. The trainees must learn all there is to know about the routine aboard a submarine. Even the simple action of walking from the fore ends to the motor room is complicated by the need to pass through the control room in minimal lighting. The eyes of the duty officer must be acclimatised to the night seascape, so the room is kept in relative darkness. Everyone must wait until their eyes become accustomed to the dark, so they won't bump into anyone as they pass through.
How often do you shower while I'm at sea? It varies actually. Most of the time you've got no time at all, so trying to shower and also fit it into your off-watch time when you're also doing part 3, sometimes it can be pretty hard, but usually 2 or 3 times a week if I can. Yeah.
Sevens, all part 3 is required in the fore ends. Do you want to get out of here? Take the brew mugs. We're going to do some planning. Sort of grab a rag as well. We'll clean out the table.
Don't forget all these little. Don't throw anything out.
Right there fellas, you've had long enough. You want to finish a meal, clean up the mess and get in the fore end so we can put a movie on.
The Part 3s never do a watch without the supervision of a qualified duty submariner. In this way, they can learn the required information in the shortest possible time. It's in the best interests of the crew to assist the trainees, because another qualified submariner means one more on the watch bill. The onus is on the Part 3s to show their initiative. The more willing the trainee, the more obliging the crew, and the faster the trainee becomes qualified. Mistakes cannot be tolerated in a submarine. The constant pressure during training will ensure the newly qualified submariner will not endanger the boat or the crew. He will have demonstrated his ability to work effectively under stressful conditions.
Is there anything that scares me? There was one time that we were operating over quite a deep amount of water, and when we actually found out, like they told us how deep the water was, it was 18,000 feet actually. That was beneath us, and it was a bit daunting.
Sometimes when you've been in a confined space and you're worried if there's going to be an emergency or a fire on board or something like that. I was just thinking, I was doing my work and I was thinking about, well, what could happen? How fast could I get out of here? You know, and it's just, oh, that's scary. It just scares you a bit. You know, you get over it.
Once the Part 3s have learnt a particular task, they will try to have the task signed off. This means that the person designated in the task book tests the trainee and then signs the master task sign-off sheet. Once all the entries are signed, the Part 3 can sit for his final submarine qualification board. As part of their assessment phase, the Part 3s walk through the compartments with the head of department, who tests them on their knowledge and recommends them for their final board if satisfied. The final submarine board is where all the work of the last 4 months is put to the test. Here the trainee is questioned by the submarine's officers and if found suitable is awarded his dolphins. The dolphins, will not be awarded lightly. The board must be convinced that the Part 3 knows the submarine, the routine and the crew intimately.
And how long does the battery life last for the 183 in transmit and receive?
Transmit is 22.5 hours, and receive is 12.5 days.
That's correct. Well, I've got no further questions for you, Sim Kemp, unless the electrical officer has anything else.
No, I'm happy.
If you'd like to just stand outside and we'll discuss your progress.
Thank you very much, sir.
Just shut the door behind you.
I don't know how you feel, Al, but in the last couple of months he's come on very well indeed. Certainly his confidence has grown from strength to strength, and I feel he's got it.
Oh yeah, no problems with electrics. The engineer's already been through it and he said
Yep.
no problems.
Well, I don't have a problem recommending him for award of submarine qualification.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Elvis Sim Camp. Come on, have a seat.
Sir?
The electrical officer, the engineer and myself have discussed your performance at the board and your progress in the last couple of months, and we all consider that you have achieved the standard required to earn submarine qualification as a radio operator, and we have great pleasure in recommending to the captain that you be awarded this. And when you leave here now, I'd like you to draft a request form for award of submarine qualification to date today and give that to the coxswain, and then you'll see the captain at the first available opportunity and he'll award you your submarine dolphins. Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you very much,
well
sir.
done. You're no longer a Part 3, you can now watch the movies. Okay.
Eat!
Right.
Congratulations, buddy.
Congratulations, mate. Enjoy drinking your piss.
Oh, you will.
Welcome to the squadron.
I wear my dolphins with pride. Okay, and I've great pleasure in awarding you your dolphins, and I hope that you too will wear them with pride. Okay, congratulations.
Salute.
When a submarine enters a foreign port, with the exception of the duty watch, the crew stays ashore in hotel accommodation.
What are the benefits of becoming qualified? Satisfaction.
Oh, you get more sleep.
Hopefully getting out of 1 in 3 duties.
Pay rise.
You're also treated a lot better by the crew because suddenly you're one of the crew. You're qualified.
Self-satisfaction, knowing that I've actually achieved it.
You know that you've completed something. You know you're part of the squadron then.
A very strong feeling that I've actually made it, and you just feel on top of the world.
Would I recommend the course to others? Yes, for sure. The benefits that you get out of being a submariner, I think, are great.
A lot of work to be put in, but you get the rewards in the end.
Would I recommend the course to anyone else? Yes, I would, but I'd advise them to think about it a lot before they did it.
Life on board a submarine isn't for everyone. The cramped conditions, lack of personal space, the smell of diesel engines, and the pressure of constant high standards means that many don't make it past Part 3 trainee. But submariners only want those people on board who can make it and who want to make it.